All right, guys, Axel Armani here with you. I know we're in a different setting. I know. We're doing something different today. So I was chilling. I was like, you know what? I've never done like a long form podcast kind of thing, detailing to my story and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? Maybe right now is the perfect time to do it. And not only that, but together we're going to enjoy a nice, smooth Monte Cristo cigar. So if you're a smoker, maybe you should get you one. We could finish it together. If you're not a smoker, that's fine. No problem. But yeah, basically, this is going to be a podcast style kind of thing where for this first episode, let's call it the origin story, right? The origins, how everything started. I want to detail a bit more about my story because I feel like there's a lot of wisdom there. There's a lot of inspiration that people can draw from that. And from there, I hope that helps you basically better your life. Maybe there's a couple of nuggets that you can get out of that. Maybe you're in a dark place right now and you need somebody to relate to. You need somebody with a similar story, because I know when I was down bad and I was broke, which we're gonna get into, I needed that. Matter of fact, I was always searching for people that I could relate to, that made me believe that, hey, if this guy did it, I can do it as well. There's nothing that can stop me. There's nothing in my way if this guy was able to do it. There's nothing making him special. And maybe sometimes that's what a person needs, you know? So let's get this started. Let's first cut the cigar. Get a nice... that was not the best cut, but it's gonna do the job. All right. Boom. Guess my lighter ain't working. Out of gas? There we go, a little bit. Let's light it up. But yeah, first off, I feel like for the first episode, it's going to be extremely important to talk about, again, my origin story, how I started all the way from Morocco to making it today to where I am in Dubai, in my fucking penthouse in the tallest building in the world. Crazy come up story. I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that can be brought out of this. So that's why I want to do these kind of things. And let's see if this one does well. I could do more. I could do ones inviting guests, etc. All right, there we go. Now, before you bash me, I know smoke is not good for recording equipment, but we don't care. If it breaks, we'll just buy another one. This is a good one. So along the podcast, I will be drinking water, and I also have a Red Bull here in case my energy levels go low. So yeah, let's get this started. So the origin stories starts in Morocco. So yes, both my parents are Moroccan. If you don't know, Morocco is a third world country in Africa. It's basically very close to Spain. So some people even speak Spanish, like myself. Yes, I can speak Spanish as well as Arabic, French, English, bunch of languages. Pretty cool stuff. But unfortunately, at the time, it was still a very poor country. It still is, but it has like improved in a massive way. But when I was a kid, 20 years ago, it was still in pretty bad shape. It was still a very bad third world country. Now, just like a lot of other third world countries, nothing special. It's a lot of poverty. It's a lot of fucked up mindsets. It's a lot of people who just don't have a higher purpose, right? They just live day to day. Every day you're living day to day. There is no real purpose or goals or anything. People are just living day by day, and they just waiting for the day for them to die. Honestly, that's how most people live in these kind of countries. And it's crazy because That's kind of miserable if you really think about it, right? But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Morocco, that's where I grew up most of my life. I actually lived there about 16 to 18 years of my life. So basically, to this point, the majority of my life has been lived in Morocco. That's where I grew up. Now, as a kid, of course, I went to school, and I learned a few valuable lessons in school. So in Morocco, we spent 12 years in school. So that includes primary school, middle school, high school, all of that. It's about 12 years in total. And I learned some very, very, very good lessons, because when I was a kid, I was a very, very skinny kid, and I was tall, right? I mean, I'm still tall now. I'm not skinny anymore. But I was very tall and scrawny, like taller than everyone, but very, very scrawny. And that was an insecurity of mine at the time. Not only because of how I look, but also because I used to get picked on. So there were a lot of, in Morocco is big on bullying. That was a big thing back in the day, man. Everybody was a fucking bully. Especially in Morocco, right? You're in third world country, ain't no filter. Everybody fights. Like, the good thing about it is that you grow up tough. Like, you will be forced to be tough in Morocco, or else you won't survive, or else they'll fucking step on you. So that's a good and a bad thing, but probably a good thing. But at the time when you were a kid and you're getting stomped on, you don't see it as a good thing. But later on, when you fast forward 10, 15 years, you're like, man, I'm glad those experiences happened. I'm glad I got bullied. Because when I got bullied, I was around in 5th grade. I still remember to this day the face of the dude. I remember one time I was talking to my little brother. My little brother is like 3 years, 4 years younger than me. And my brother was enjoying his Kit Kat. And at the time, like, we wouldn't really treat ourselves to sweets like that because it was kind of expensive. Like, a Kit Kat is expensive over there. But he had a Kit Kat, and he was so happy that he had a Kit Kat. And then this fucking dude came and snatched it from his hands and then looked me in the face. Was like, yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do? And guess what I did? Nothing. Because I was a fucking pussy back then. But that moment, it slapped me in the face. I went home and I was like, fuck, man. I couldn't even protect my little brother. That's some fucked up shit. And then from there, I was like, okay. I remember I used to go in the school bus, and the same dude used to always sit behind me. And while we're going on the school bus, it was a long ass ride. It was like 40 minutes. And this motherfucker would slap me in the face, boom, or in the back of my head, and like act. And then I turned around, and then he acts like there's nothing happened, like it's not him, because there's a bunch of kids, but I knew it was him. So I used to get boom every day, you know, CTE kind of slaps in the fucking back of my head. But at some point, you get tired of that shit, bro. At some point, gotta stand up for yourself. So that's where my journey started, with actually learning martial arts and stuff. That's funny, because that triggered the journey a self-development journey that started very young. So during that time, I started training a bunch of martial arts, taekwondo, kickboxing, even karate. I did them all. I wanted to learn how to kick some fucking ass, especially back in the day. And then I got really good at it really fast. I just was naturally gifted with fighting. Till this day, that's the only sport that I'm good at. Any other sport, I'm absolutely garbage at. And from there, I started fighting back, right? So I was no longer scared after a few classes. I was like, okay, fuck this shit. Because I was tall and scrawny, right? Which means I was bigger than everybody else. And I never understood that that's my power at the time. I was too scared. I was too scared to even realize that I'm more powerful than these little guys. Because the dude that was bullying me was a tiny dude. He was very small, but he had he had too much confidence, you know? And that's what fucks you up, right? Because you see a small ass dude, but he got too much confidence. He got that little man syndrome. And that scares some people. And it scared me at that time because I didn't understand this stuff. And a lot of times, those small ass people, they're very weak. They just have this aura around them that you think they're strong, but they're not. They're fucking small wimps. So for that guy, I remember I met him again in the school playground, and I fucked him up. I remember I took him, I suplexed him, boom, on the floor, beat his ass, boom, 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 punches on the floor, ground and pound on some UFC shit. And guess what? After that, I never got bullied from that day on forwards. Never. I never got bullied again. Because the people saw that, the classmates that were with me saw that I just beat up the fucking biggest bully. I never got bullied after that. Matter of fact, I became the bully. I started bullying the guys that were bullying me, that were in that group. And I'm saying all of this just to say, like, at some point in life, you have to learn how to start fighting back. And not only physically, right? Now, sure, when we were kids, it's physical, but there's no repercussions. As an adult, if you physically fight, you're going to jail and shit. So you can't really be going out there fighting everybody. But sometimes the fights are not even physical. Sometimes the fights is life. Life is fucking hitting you in the face. Life is bullying you sometimes. And you gotta wake the fuck up and fight back. And how do you fight back? By taking action, taking a lot of action. Taking action that will propel you forwards instead of just letting yourself get bullied and fucking be sad about it and shit like that. So yeah, that's, I guess, number one childhood lesson. But that's a good thing because this time of my life, it built a lot of my mental resilience. It built a lot of the grit that is needed later on in life. That's where I was built. That's where it was built very early on at this age. That's why I said it's a good thing that I got bullied. Because after you learn to fight back, after you go through that stuff, you're tough as nails. And it develops you into a stronger man. That's the thing. As men, I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this are going to be men, probably some females too. But as a man, you have to go through adversity. That's just the nature of the life we live. As a man, you have to go through adversity. You can't be going around not going through adversity, just being a fucking pussy, a little coward, not going out there, not putting yourself in risk. Because at the other end of risk, there's always reward. And as a man, you need to really, really hone in on that and take some fucking risks. But let's get back to the origin story. I don't want to get too out of subject. So yeah, around 6th grade, stuff like that, I stopped getting bullied. That shit stopped happening to me. I continued training in martial arts. I continued fighting and stuff. And yeah, that built a lot of discipline that I still to this day currently have and work with. Was built during that time as a kid where I was learning martial arts and fighting. So honestly, if you have kids, definitely put them in some martial arts classes, 100%. Put them in boxing, put them in kickboxing, put them in fucking Brazilian jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, whatever. Put them in wrestling, start suplexing motherfuckers, you know? Your kids gotta know how to fight. That's 100%. Especially if you got boys, they need to know how to fight. Can't be little nerds, you know, or at least they can be nerds that know how to fight. That's even better. But after that, school went on, and around the time that I was about 16 years old is where a few things started happening. This is where I started realizing, okay, shit. Everybody around me is fucking poor. I'm in a third world country and I need to get out of here. I wanted to get out of there because everybody around me was broke. That's where I started like listening to rappers and stuff like that. I mean, not started to. I've been listening to hip hop and rap music since I was very young. But now the stuff starts to make sense. And now you're starting to understand everything they say and shit. And you're like, okay, fuck. I'm broke. And I need to get these things that these rappers are talking about. I need to get the Bentleys and the Roses and the Lambos and stuff like that. I need to get successful. And honestly, like I'm a 90s kid, so I grew up listening to a lot of 50 Cent and stuff. And if you remember, during that era of music, a lot of the music was about making money and grinding and hustling, right? A lot of these people were like very successful drug dealers that turned into music. Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, all of that good stuff. So that's what I grew up listening to. And that gave me that hustler spirit. Because here's the thing, whether you realize it or not, the music that you listen to a lot, that you're on repeat, actually influences your subconscious brain, and it goes deep inside of it, especially the ones you were listening to while you were young. So if you were listening to a bunch of sad music when you were young, you're probably sad today. So be careful, man. That's why, as a rule of life for myself, I have cut out all sad music. I don't listen to sad music, because the more that you put these songs on repeat, the more they start going inside your subconscious brain, and it starts affecting your mood. Now you start having the same mood as the artist singing that song, which is fucked up. So, but the good thing was, all of that music from that era, the 50 Cent, the Jay-Z, all of that good stuff, it was all about hustling and making money. That's what I loved about it. What was that 50 Cent song? Na 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 na, I'm a hustler. That was one of my favorite songs, Hustler's Ambition. And yeah, I started realizing, okay, shit, I need to hustle. I need to start making some money. My parents weren't making that much. My parents weren't making enough to take care of us. We always had food on the table, thank God, and thanks to them, we always had food on the table. But I was hearing them fighting about money, like, hey, because my mom is a spender, you know, my mom loves to spend money, my dad is not. So I would hear them fight about money a lot, and my dad fighting with my mom about her spending habits and stuff, and be like, yo, like, we're late on school payments, because I went to a school where they teach you English and stuff, right? That's why I can speak English now so fluently, and that shit is paid for in Morocco. It's not free. So they were fighting about that. Like, my mom would be spending money, and then we wouldn't have enough money to pay their schools. And then I would start getting late payment notices from the school, and that would fuck with me, because the fucked up shit is that they would come into the class in front of everybody and be like, hey, this guy, you guys, here, your fucking late notice payment, you didn't pay. Tell your parents to pay. In front of the whole class. So now the whole class knows that you're a brokey. And that fucked with me, I'm not gonna lie. That raged me, bro. And especially, you know, when you're a teenager and you're very sensitive to that kind of stuff. So that was fucked up, to be honest. I don't think they should have done it that way. Now that I think about it, but it's good. It fueled me. It fueled me to go hard. I was like, nah, man, I can't keep on living like this. I can't be like this. I won't allow myself to be like this. And that's where I started, like, going online, searching how can I make money and stuff like that. And at the time, I don't know how I got this idea. I was browsing through some forums, and somebody said, hey, you actually can learn to make music, make instrumentals or beats, and you can sell them online for money. This is while I was 16 years old. I was like, oh shit, I can learn something cool, which is making music, and I can make money off of it. Shit, sign me up. So that's where my career as a music producer started. So yeah, funny thing, before I was a business owner, before I was a Forex trader, I was a music producer, and I did that for about 5 years. Crazy. So I started doing that in the first couple of years. In the first 2 years, I didn't really make money, right? Because you start off, you're garbage, and you don't know how to do anything. The first 2 years, just learning years. You don't make no money, you're just learning. Every day you're making beats, you're grinding. You're just trying to perfect your sound, trying to get it to sound good. But after a couple of years, now it's like, okay, now it's starting to sound good. So just to give you an idea, the average salary in Morocco is around between $200 and $400 per month. Yes, per month. That's the average salary. So, and my teachers at school that were teaching me and stuff, usually they made around $500 to $700 per month, depending on how good they were and how old not how old, how experienced they were, like how long they've been in the education business or whatever the fuck is called in the schooling system. And I was probably around 17, 18. And I was making at that time around $1,000 to $1,200 per month selling beats online. So here I am, a 17-year-old kid making more than my 50-year-old instructor. And that's where my paradigm started shifting. I'm like, wait a minute, man. All this shit these people teaching me, all this garbage is just a bunch of crap. It's just a bunch of crap. I'm here. And by the way, at that time, I didn't tell anybody. I was very silent. I was kind of a silent type of person, you know. I wasn't the one that keeps chit-chatting and then bragging to everybody. I was making my money and shutting up. Nobody knew. Because I know if my friends knew and shit, they would want to, you know, start getting, hey, how do you do this? Like, yo, leave me alone. Let me grind in silence. So at that time, I started realizing, oh, shit. There's something here in this system that is not working. Like, these guys are here, and my parents didn't know either, by the way. My parents are telling me to go to school for this such and such and such and get a fucking job so I can make $400 or $500 a month, and I'm here making $1,000 per month, more than what my teachers make that are teaching me physics and math and algebra and calculus and all this fucking crap that I will never use in my life, and I'm making more than them. Just selling music online. I'm like, what the fuck? So then, unfortunately, I still wanted to leave Morocco because Morocco had no opportunities. Morocco had nothing. I could have just like took the $1,000 and just lived in Morocco for the rest of my life, and that would have been okay, right? But I had bigger ambitions. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to be big. And I remember that's around the time where what's his name? Conor McGregor started popping out. He started becoming very popular and stuff. That's when, if you watch MMA, like he started winning the title when he beat Jose Aldo and stuff like that. And in some of the interviews that he was doing, he was talking about this thing, law of attraction. He was so confident. He was saying, I'm gonna win this way, and I visualize it, and I know that I'm gonna win, And then he goes into the ring and does exactly what he says. And then after, in the interviews, he would talk about the law of attraction and that he believes in this thing, the law of attraction, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, wow, what is this thing? And then I started learning about that. I started learning about the law of attraction, about how to manifest these kind of things, how to visualize. That was one of the first things, is how to visualize. So what I started doing, because I wanted to get out of Morocco, I started visualizing myself in Canada. Now, the reason why Canada is because at that time I was listening to a lot of Drake music, and Drake is from Toronto, Canada, right? And I always thought, like, yo, maybe like Canada has like a dope ass lifestyle and shit like that. I was wrong, by the way, but I thought that was the case. And so I was visualizing Canada and stuff like that. And then guess what happens? Oh man, I need to light this thing up. And then guess what happens? About a year later, I was 18 years old. I graduated high school. And I only applied to one university, and the university was in Canada. And guess what happened? Not only did I get accepted, but I was offered a scholarship as well. So I paid a very, very reduced price in order to get in, compared to what normally people would pay the international student price, which is outrageous. It's like 4 times what a normal student would pay, which is crazy. It's like fucking rape. But I was able to get in on a scholarship, which is amazing. So that's where my journey started, of going to Canada. Now, in Canada, that's where I really suffered. That's where like the brokenness really started kicking in, because I was still making music. I was still making about $1,000 per month. But making $1,000 per month in Canada is the equivalent of the dude working at McDonald's. So I was broke. In Morocco, I was doing fine. $1,000 a month, I was making more than my 50-year-old instructor. I came to Canada, I'm making $1,000 a month selling my fucking little cute beats online. Now I'm broker than the dude that sells McDonald's. That fucked me up. Hold on, let me light this up. If you're wondering what I'm smoking, this is a Monte Cristo. I don't know what's the actual serial number or the I don't know what's the actual name of it. I just know the brand Monte Cristo. This is a good one. Okay, so where are we in the story? We're in Canada. Okay, yeah. So I landed in Canada. I went to University of Ottawa. So that's basically the capital of Canada. It's not the best place. It's not the worst place. It's a very average kind of living place. Wasn't really my style. But hey, I was on scholarship and I was broke. And these university offered me to study there. And I was going to take that anytime instead of fucking staying in Morocco. I don't care. I would always make that decision to go. So I did go. And first year was okay, right? It was okay. I didn't really get slapped in the face the first year. The first year was mellow. I experienced snow for the first time. It was crazy fucking freezing, minus 15 degrees. Oh my God, I hated that shit. You go outside and your face starts hurting. It's crazy, bro. Like, if you never went to Canada, don't go. You don't need to go. But yeah. First year, it was okay. I was still making my beats. I was still selling stuff online, making, like I said, about $1,000, $2,000 maybe if it was a good month, stuff like that. And the only good thing that I must say that I did was that I did not spend money. I was a cheap ass. I was extremely frugal on my come up. I was saving all my fucking pennies and stacking them up. And that actually ended up being one of the best decisions that I made, like 4 years down the line. We'll get into that. But yeah, lesson there, save your money, especially if you're broke and you're on the come up. Save your money. Very important. So, second year kicks in. This is where I go and live with 3 other Moroccan dudes, and they were broke as a fucking joke. This is where life gets very bad. I remember I posted one of the videos where I go and I actually physically go to all of the spots that I used to live in, and I show you each of the spots. So go watch that video. It's very, very interesting video. I remember I was very emotional after that day. I was like, damn, I done came a long way, man. I done came a long fucking way. It was from the trenches, fam. I'm telling you, from the fucking ghetto. But anyways, let's get back to business. Second year, started living with 3 Moroccan broke dudes. They started doing drugs in my fucking apartment, and I don't do no drugs. At that time, I don't do nothing at all. I was very religious guy, pray to God, all of that good stuff. Did not do drugs, did not drink, did not do anything. So these guys started fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit, doing cocaine in the fucking room and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I wasn't with it. And the problem was this guy would start bringing in all kinds of weird ass people that would do that stuff with him. Basically, the fucking apartment turned into like a crack house almost. It was crazy dirty. It had all kinds of weird ass people, and I hated it with every inch of my being. I hated it. It was so low vibrational, and I was so fucking depressed at that time. During that time, and plus this guy would bring on some weird people and fights would happen. I remember there were a few times where, like, fam, I had the knife on me, like ready to fight and shit like that. Matter of fact, if you check on my nose here, I have a scar that happened from fighting with groups like that. I still have it to this day. I had to get 9 stitches on my nose to stitch it back together after a fight. Crazy shit, bro. I got fucking slashed in the face. Yeah. very dark times back in the, like, I remember back in those times after that happened, I was very, 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 very like depressed and shit. Very bad times in my life. Very bad. It was with people that I didn't like, that were doing drugs and shit. And I was still not touching any of that. Anti-drugs. Still to this day, I'm anti-drugs. I'm smoking a cigar, but I don't consider this drugs. Well, I don't even inhale it. Because you're not supposed to inhale cigars. But yeah, during that time, like I said, very dark times. I was extremely depressed, especially after my nose got cut and I had to get stitches on it, and I stayed with stitches for like, I don't know, months on end, and the scar was extremely visible. Anyways, that really hit my confidence. But then the best thing happened. The best thing happened during that time. We got evicted. So the landlords have enough of our bullshit, had enough of the fights, have enough of the fucking bullshit. And all of us, they took I remember they took all of our stuff and threw it out the fucking window, out the balcony, I mean. So we lived in like the 12th floor or something like that. They threw all that shit away. They threw all of our stuff. And guess what? At that time, I was scared. I was like, fuck, man. Am I going to be homeless out here or some shit? I got evicted, bro. I got my shit kicked the fuck out. So I was worried. But thankfully, God came through, man. God came through. I was able to find another place that same day. So that was a blessing. And I didn't even have anybody to sleep with or nothing like that. So yeah, shout out to God for pulling through, man. Thank you. I didn't have to experience homelessness. But yeah, then I went and lived in this little studio kind of apartment. But the good thing is that I went there and I was alone. So now I had a lot of time to think. I had a lot of time to find myself. While all of this was happening, my school grades were in the fucking gutter. I was failing classes. I was getting C's and D's. I was doing very bad. And my degree, which was an honors bachelor's of commerce and whatever it was, I don't remember, you had to have an average grade of B or B plus or something like that in order to get the degree, because it's an honors bachelor's, not a normal bachelor's. You can't just pass and then get the degree. You have to, there's a minimum required average, a GPA that you need to get. And I was very far from it. And this is 2 years in. Then I get a letter. I get a letter from the university saying, hey, my boy, if you don't get your shit together and if we don't see improvements in these grades, we will have to ship you back to Morocco. Yes, we will have to kick you out of university, cancel your visa, and ship you back to where you fucking came from. That's the letter I got. I had almost a panic attack. I was like, oh my fucking God. Like my heart almost stopped when I saw that shit. I was like, oh my God. So after that, I was like, okay, I have to get my shit together. There is no way in hell that I continue like this. It's not possible. So by that time, I actually stopped making money from music because I was not consistent with the music anymore. I had way too many life problems. My life was fucked up. I was getting parking tickets every day. I don't know. Like I was just attracting all kinds of bad shit. And that was because I was very low vibrational at that point. Now looking back at it, at that point, bro, I was very low vibrational. And maybe we'll get into vibrations and stuff into other podcasts. But if you saw one of my live streams that I did for New Year's, I go in detail about all this vibration stuff. So go watch that after this. But I was a very low vibrational, which means I kept attracting low vibrational events to myself, like getting slapped with parking tickets, getting slapped with speeding tickets, getting this fucking university letter telling me that, hey, if I don't get my shit together, they're gonna ship me back. All of this bad stuff. So then I decided to change. I was like, okay, it's time for me to change. I cannot keep on living like this. At that time, I was making probably less than $1,000 per month because I stopped doing the music stuff. So I was broke. I was like super broke. Like I'm talking about broke. I'm not talking about medium broke. I'm talking about, yo, this guy is broke right now. So then I chose that, okay, I'm gonna start changing. I'm gonna start doing something right away to change. So at that point, I started doing all kinds of jobs. Whatever jobs was there, I did it. I remember I worked in construction. I did that for a couple of days. It was like a quick gig. Boom, I did that shit. It was crazy. Then I started working as a painter. So I was painting residential homes. I was going in there, bro. I remember we started at 5 a.m. and we stop at 5 p.m. Boom, every day, boom, 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 painting houses. Until one day, the fucking guy that was supposed to pay me, he scammed me and fucking threw me out. I was like, shit, I didn't even get paid, and I worked so hard. But I did get a couple of pays, but then the last one he didn't give me. Just a son of a bitch. Then, after that, I started working in sales. So I started learning sales, how to sell, all of that good stuff. And I did it with a couple of companies. The first companies I worked with, I did not do well. I was absolutely garbage at it. Especially because naturally I'm an introvert kind of person. So it didn't come naturally to me to just go and knock on doors and talk to people, right? But it was good. It was good for me. It was a challenge. It was a challenge because it went against what I normally would do, right? I normally would just stay in my home, make some fucking music and be alone, read books, watch courses, that kind of stuff. But this challenged me, and I chose sell on purpose because I wanted to get better at speaking. And guess what? Years later, what am I doing right now? I've been speaking for the last 30-something minutes. Crazy, right? So yeah, that job challenged me to work on my weaknesses. And at that time, communication was my weakness. So I worked on it. And then gradually, after jumping over to a couple of companies, I became good at it. I started doing okay in sales, started making okay money, maybe like 500 to 1,000 a week. Well, I wasn't the top salesman. I'm not gonna lie. I was never the top salesman. I was doing just enough to keep my head above water, to keep my car, to keep my rent, to do well enough to survive. I was in survival at this point, while still going to school, of course. Now I was working like kind of part-time-ish because I had school. And because after I got that letter, I got serious about my academics. So I was like, okay, I need to fix my academics. I started taking it more seriously. And then my C's and D's started becoming A's, started becoming B's. I started like getting better and better grades. And that allowed me to actually finish university and graduate. Now, the good thing that I did was while I was in university, I didn't mind working for free for a bit. And this is a good thing. If you're in some industry and stuff where you can be an intern or whatever, do it. Do it even if it's an unpaid internship. Do it because the experience, it will pay you later on. So I did a couple free internships. I was working for free for a couple of companies, just learning, accumulating skills. And it was marketing jobs. So then, after I graduated, I actually got a job right away. So actually, I secured the job before I graduated. And this is from someone who was failing all of his classes and shit, right? Until I got the letter, and that kicked me in the face. I graduated, and then I had a job right away. I did not go through a fucking period of searching and all of that. I already had a job in marketing that paid pretty well. It paid the average salary. It was about 52 to 54K per year, something like that, if I remember correctly. And I was extremely, extremely good at my job. So this is where the Forex comes in. Actually, the Forex comes in a little bit before. The Forex comes in while I was in that little studio apartment after I left the three dudes that I was living with, which was fucking crazy. It was nuts, man. I'm telling you. Also, side story. I think this one is important. This one is extremely important because I know a few people right now probably going through some rough stuff, and you're probably thinking about going the medication route if you're depressed. Let me tell you this. I remember after I got my nose scar, After I got evicted and then started living alone, I was extremely depressed. I was down. I was down bad. To the point where I actually went to like the therapy or whatever it's called, a psychiatrist. I don't know, whatever those people are called. And he prescribed me depression medication. And I took it home with me. And then I sat down. And I took a good look at the box. And I was like, damn. Really? You let yourself go down to the point where you're going to let some fucking medication dictate what you do with your life, and you're going to let some medication fix you up mentally? And then I was like, nah, I'm not doing this. I took the medication and I threw it in the fucking garbage. I was like, there's no way I'm letting this fucking bullshit dictate my life or fix me up or whatever. I know I'm strong enough to figure this out mentally by myself, naturally, without medication. I know that this problem I can fix myself. And guess what? I did. You know how you fix depression? By starting to get good at shit, by getting your fucking ass up and going to the gym and working out, by starting to get skills and making some fucking money, by getting passionate about something, by having a purpose. The reason you're depressed is because you know your potential is up here. You know your potential is up here. This was my problem. I knew what I could accomplish. I knew I was great. I knew I was amazing. I knew I was smart. But then my results were here. I was fucking broke, making no money, and just bad shit keeps happening to me. And I'm like, fuck. And because of this disparity, it creates the depression. But depression is good because depression is telling you, hey, buddy, there's something wrong. Your potential is up here. You need to be working to get up there. But a lot of us, when we're depressed, we're just like, oh, I don't know what to do. You're just dumb and looking at the wall and being sad and like fucking dumb. So after that day, I was like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna start working towards a purpose. And that's around the time where I started learning Forex. And that was my new thing that I latched onto, and basically was, okay. And it basically was the portal for me to start achieving. Honestly, for me, if it wasn't for Forex, I don't know where the fuck I would be right now. It was it was something that saved me, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, because now I had something that I could sit down and study, something I was passionate about, something I was very curious about, because I was learning this thing, and this thing could make me money, right? I can instantly start making money from the markets if I learned and if I understood how to trade. And that was like a turning point in my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I was not profitable right away. I was not like super good right off the bat. No. That took a couple of years. I started getting profitable after I graduated, after I had my job, after that. So it took some time. But honestly, the trading shit, it saved me, bro. And the decision to not take the depression medication and to throw that shit in the fucking garbage was one of the best decisions in my life. I'm pretty sure if during that time I chose to take that medication, I promise you, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I would not be where I am right now if I took those pills, because that shit just makes you a zombie. It changes you, it alters you, and it just changes you, bro. It makes you a zombie. You lose all your dreams. You lose all of that. You become a fucking zombie. So don't do it. Anyways, that was the side story. But the side story brings us into the main story, because during that time, I started learning how to trade. I started learning Forex. Yes, I bought whatever little money I had. I used it to buy courses and start learning. So yeah, I learned a lot through YouTube, through courses, through some of the OGs in the trading space. I learned through them. When I say OGs, I mean the online people. And then, slowly but surely, I started understanding the markets, started understanding different strategies, started understanding, I was trading mostly like a divergent strategy, and I used that for a while, and it was working really well, made a bunch of money on it. But the problem was, I was trading small accounts. So I was trading maybe a couple $1,000, right? So my account was a couple $1,000. And the problem with trading that amount of money is you need to risk a lot in order to make good money, right? And sometimes like you learn from trading and you learn from proper risk management to not risk a lot. So right now, if you wanted to trade $1,000 account with proper risk management, right, you're only gonna make like $100 that month or something like that, right? It's because you can't risk crazy. And that's where I started learning about funding programs, about FTMO. So at that time, the only company that existed was FTMO. There weren't many other companies, and if there were, they were not popular. It was just FTMO starting to get some buzz. And I remember seeing the video of Lambo Raul getting like $100,000 payouts or some crazy shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck? I can trade and do this thing that I've been learning for the last couple of years, and these people will give me money. They will give me the money to do it. And we just split the thing 70-30. I think that was the original profit split at that time. Now they've increased it, I'm pretty sure. I was like, no way, this is a fucking game changer. And guess what it was? Now guess what? It took me a few tries before I actually passed the challenge. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that I was fucking Superman and did it in my first try. I didn't. It took me a few tries before I finally got funded. And I was so happy when I finally got my first $100,000 funded account. Now, during this time, like I said, I already had my job. I was working the marketing job that I told you, and I was doing really good. I was starting to get promoted and good stuff like that. Plus, on the side, I was trading my FTMO account, and I was making good money with that. So between both incomes, I was like clocking in like 10 grand a month from my job, plus the trading that I was doing, plus the FTMO trading, and I was getting some good payouts back in the day. And after that, after doing that for a little bit, that gave me the confidence to quit my job and just go all in into this Forex trading stuff. And it paid off massively for me. It was a big risk, and I didn't really quit until I knew like, okay, I have a lot of money for expenses for at least the next year. Like when I had at least a year of expenses covered, that's when I was like, okay, man, it's time to quit this job. I think if I go full time at this Forex thingy, I could take it to the next level. And guess what? That's what happened. And that was around the same time. After I passed a couple of challenges for myself, I was like, okay, shit, wait a minute. If I was able to do this for myself, what if I created something that would be able to help others do exactly the same thing, right? And I was like, if people knew about this opportunity, if people knew that they could get funded hundreds of thousands of dollars and basically literally replace their incomes, that would be a game changer in this industry. And then I was reading a lot of the forums, a lot of Forex forums, and people were struggling to pass this challenge. I mean, I understood it too, because it took me like 3 tries before I passed mine back in the day. So I was like, fuck, I can create something here that helps people get funded, and it will change the game. And that's where Pass Your Challenge was created. That's the company I run till this day, right? We still help to this day get people funded. Matter of fact, I just got a message right here. Let me read it out for you. By the way, I'll show it to you so you don't think I'm lying or making this shit up. Just got a message today from someone we got funded. You can see this is on my Instagram. This is screenshot. Wait. Let me go inside the Instagram. What's the guy's name? Alicia. Here. Boom. Let me click on the thing. Boom. Leveled up. Phase 2 was passed. Oh, this thing is not going to focus. Whatever. So yeah, let me read it out for you. He said, thank you and your team for passing my phase 2 and getting me funded. Really appreciate you guys. Service and team are 1,000% recommendation. I told him congratulations. Good stuff, man. Congratulations on the funding. Hope you make some good money with that. But yeah, this is literally what we do every single day right now. We help people get funded. We help people like Elisha here, or Alicia, I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Elisha, to get funded. We do tens of people per day that get funded, that we help them out. And all of this started, like I said, with my FTMO story, with getting funded myself. And I was like, damn, I had an epiphany. I was like, shit, I was able to do this. Like, this shit helped me out. I was clocking in, like I said, between my job and the income from FTMO around 10, 15 grand per month. That was good. And I was young at that time. I was like, fucking what? How old am I now? I'm 24. So I must have been like 22 or something like that. So I was like, damn, okay. If we can get this to the public, this can change the game. This can be like something big. We can create a massive business out of it. And that is what ended up happening. We ended up creating an amazing business. After that, we started getting into automated trading and combining both worlds, combining the automated trading with the funding world and creating our EA and a lot of things, man. Like, one thing leads to another, and then boom, here we are today. Thankfully, I'm very successful, a multi-millionaire. I was able to become a millionaire at 23, so that was a big accomplishment. Just bought one of my dream cars last month. I bought a Huracan Lamborghini. I made a video about it. A couple of days ago, I just bought a Bentley as well for the daily driver, because I was putting way too many miles on the fucking Lambo. I was driving it like crazy. I was like, hold on. I started looking at the kilometer counter. I was like, oh, hell no. I gotta chill before I depreciate this thing like crazy. So yeah, I was able, after that, I got a fucking Bentley Continental. If you're on my Instagram, you probably saw it. By the way, go follow me on Instagram at Axel Armani. Go follow me on my Instagram. But yeah, that's basically the origin story, man. That's how it started. It all started, humble beginnings in Morocco. But I had an epiphany when I was around 16, something like that, where I realized, okay, like following the traditional route was not going to be my thing. I knew I was going to do something different. And I had the proof of concept, because I was fucking making music online and getting paid for it, making more than my teachers. That was enough. But then I went into Canada and I was extremely broke, because $1,000 is not a lot of money in Canada. You're gonna live very, very poorly, especially after your rent and your bills and your food and your university. You're gonna be struggling. And then yeah, one thing led to another. Thankfully, didn't let myself go down the rabbit hole of depression and stuff. I fucking snatched myself out of it. And by the way, I'll do a shout out to somebody who right now is facing a lot of they're in a dark moment, and I want to thank him. And it's a very controversial figure, but I don't care. I want to give a big shout out to Andrew Tate, because I remember during that time when I was in that little crib in my little studio apartment alone, when I did the decision to fucking throw away my depression medication and say, fuck this shit, I used to watch his videos. This is years ago. I've been known about him years ago, way before he was mainstream. And I watched his video about depression is not real. And that shit just woke me up. You can still probably find it on YouTube. Just put Andrew Tate, depression is not real. And that shit just woke me up. That shit just slapped me in the face. I was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna grind hard. I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna get to my shit. I'm gonna get to it. And yeah, although he is a very controversial figure today, but the base message that he has helped millions of people around the world, including myself. And I happen to be one of the people that actually made it and became successful, right? So that's pretty fucking cool. But yeah, is there anything else in my origin story? Let me see. I think that's about it, to be honest. That's my origin story. Let me know if you guys like this kind of format where we just chilling with each other, smoking a cigar, chilling, talking about life and stuff. Maybe later on I can even add some guests. Who knows, But yeah, depending on how this does, it will determine whether, It will determine whether I'll do more of these or not. And yeah, basically that's it. Now, I still have about 5 minutes maybe on the counter. So I'll answer some... God damn. So I'll answer some Instagram questions, because I put a poll and I was like, hey, if you got some questions, I'll answer them at the end of the podcast. And yeah, by the way, follow me on IG at Axel Armani. I don't know if you could see that or not, but at Axel Armani, go follow me on there. I always post stories, I always post results of my clients, all kinds of good stuff. But yeah, let's get to the questions. I only do a couple because we only have a few minutes left. Somebody said, is Forex automation the best stream of income? I wouldn't say it's the best beginning stream of income. That's why in my story, you'll notice that I said I had a job and I was doing Forex. Because in Forex, you will need money in order to grow your money. It's not one of those things where you can just start it off with nothing. It doesn't really work like that. You need to have some kind of money. So you need to have a job, you need to have a income, and then you take that income and you grow it with trading and with Forex. So is it the best stream of income? Maybe. It's one of the best. For me, it was very good because I was able to take advantage of funding, right? I was able to leverage a $500 investment into a challenge and turn that into months and months and months of payouts for myself. So for me, it was great. But yeah, it is one of the best streams of income, yes. Somebody said, can I earn $5,000 per month from trading completely hands-free? Yes, absolutely. If you're using our EA and you have the settings dialed in and maybe you're trading an account that is, I don't know, 10 to 15, maybe even 20,000, and it's your personal fund so you can take more drawdown, then yeah, absolutely, you can make 5K per month, no problem. Or you can do it with a prop firm. Get 100K, do 5% per month, boom, there's your 5K. So absolutely, 100% possible. Somebody said, how to start trading with no experience in capital. Okay, so how to start trading with no experience in capital? Or first of all, you can't start trading if you have no experience. So the first thing you want to do is to educate yourself on trading, educate yourself. There's a lot of courses that you can find for free on YouTube. There's a lot of, I'll give you a secret nugget. If you go, there's a video that was uploaded a couple years ago and it was very helpful for me. It was uploaded by Anthony's World. So if you go to Anthony's World YouTube channel, he has a whole trading series tutorial that goes from beginning to end about his strategy. And that was, I used that strategy I made a good amount of money with that stuff. It's kind of swing trading. So yeah, go start there. I gave you a free nugget right there. Go check it out. Somebody said, where can I learn about financial literacy? Good question. Financial literacy, the way you're going to learn it is through books. So there's a lot of books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a lot of the... I would say that one. Mostly that one if you really want to start understanding financial literacy at its basic. There's also another one called The Psychology of Money. That one goes into some good bits about financial literacy, but mostly just educating yourself on YouTube and all of this stuff, understanding what money even is. That's the other thing, like understanding what money even is. There's this video, I forgot who was in the video. Fuck. And it was this guy talking about money and explaining how money is not real and it's just a piece of paper, and then that it has no emotions, but you have emotions towards it. Antoine something. The guy was Antoine something. I forgot. But there's a very, very valuable video. It was filmed in New York in the hotel room. But yeah, very good video. But yeah, that's where you can start. You can start with books. Start with books, audio books, however you want to start, and YouTube. A lot of YouTube. Just YouTube, just go on YouTube, click and search for Robert Kiyosaki. What is his name? Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki, financial literacy, and you'll find a lot of good stuff. What else we got here? Thoughts about drop shipping. I think it's a viable method, but the problem today is you don't want to stay stuck in drop shipping. You want to start with drop shipping and then turn it into a private label with the products that are winners. But then again, same with Forex and drop shipping. The two things that is the same about it is that you cannot start them with zero money. Like you need to have some kind of money because you need to run ads and stuff in order for your drop shipping store to work. And that's what people forget about. So yeah, both Forex and dropshipping will need you to have some kind of capital beforehand. That's why you need to go and find you a job. That's why I personally do not like hate on people that have jobs, or I'm not against having the 9 to 5 and having a job and working on your side hustle on the side. Matter of fact, I think that's the best thing that you can do for yourself, because a lot of people out there, a lot of men are extremely stubborn. They're super broke and trying to start a business and have no income stream, and they're trying to start a business, which doesn't make sense because business needs money in order to grow. So yeah, it's just very stupid. If you have a 9 to 5, keep working, and on the side, work on your fucking passion. No, wait. Sorry. That's a massive mistake. Don't work on your passion. Work on what's gonna fucking make you money. So if it's trading, it's trading. If it's dropshipping, it's dropshipping. If it's whatever you do, that thing that makes you money, not your passion. Like, that's why I had to quit music, by the way. I quit music because that shit was not making money, and it was not gonna take me to my 20K months, 50K months, 100K months, 200K months. That was not gonna take me there, and I knew it. So I had to cut it off. So don't do your passion, but go follow the money. Follow the things that you can make money in. For me, it was Forex. For you, it's probably going to be Forex if you're watching me, but maybe if you do other stuff, drop shipping, whatever, then continue down that path. Because here's the thing. If there's other people within your niche that are extremely successful, they are proof of concept that whatever model they're using works, all right? So stick to it. Go through the fucking tough times. Go through the ups and downs, and in the end, if you stick it through and you do it smartly and you do it without making too many mistakes, you'll be successful. But yeah, that's about it for the podcast. Answered some questions, went over the origin story. Yeah, let me know down below in the comments if you want me to do another one of these, if you want me to make this maybe a bi-weekly thing or a weekly thing or whatever, or if you guys want to hear more stories like this. If so, tell me down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe, and yeah, follow me on Instagram at Axel Armani, AXEL ARMANI. All right, see you later.